Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome back. I'm Jeannie and I'm going to be trying out a brand that I've been wanting to try for a while, so I figured I'd film it and we'd do a first impressions of Attain Cosmetics. So for my first order, I didn't want to go too crazy, so I just wanted to pick up the necessities. So I picked up the Attain Adhesion, which is her gel base coat, and then Attain Shine, which is the gel top coat. This is a wipe top coat. So of course, for a gel polish mani, you need a gel base and gel top coat. So I picked up those. These are 15 milliliter bottles, but they feel huge. And I think 15 millimeter is standard looking at my other gel polish bottles, but I think because of the shape, they just feel a lot larger. But of course, for a gel polish mani, I need a color. So I picked up this color called Nightshade. I'm sure no one is surprised. So you see that color swatch on the side. In the bottle and on the swatch, it looks like a dusty plum type color, but after I apply it, it actually looks like more of an eggplant to me, but either way, it is a gorgeous color, and I am super excited to try out these products. And I also did pick up her mini LED lamp because this brand is created by Liz from the Nail Hub. If you haven't checked out her YouTube channel, she really talks about like the science of gels and gel safety, and I love geeking out and watching her. So there is this QR code. If you want to scan that, you can get, like, I'm guessing it links to like her YouTube channel or maybe her Facebook page, but go ahead and scan that if you want to check out more from Liz. And I did just quickly test it out, and it actually links to the Attain website where it has step-by-step instructions and tutorials. So that's super helpful to have. But anyway, Liz talks a lot about how not all lamps are created equal, and some companies make lamps that are specifically meant to cure their gels. So I really wanted to try out her lamp because she really knows what she's talking about. So I just put the box off to the side. This isn't a cordless lamp, so it does come with a cord. And by the looks of it, it is a really nice long cord, which I appreciate because I hate when these lamps come with these super short cords where I can't even use it on my desk. Like I have to find a way to get it plugged in and actually still use it. So this cord is super long. I do have extra length as well. So if you don't have a plug near you, you can probably still use it. But let's go ahead and jump straight into this mani. So starting with the adhesion, you always want to start with the gel base coat. So I just want to quickly take a look at the consistency of it. So looking at it, it is a really thick gel. So you can see here the viscosity of it. It's got that little trail, and then the bead I have on the brush is not moving. So I do appreciate that it's a nice thick gel. I know Liz has mentioned that you can use it as an overlay on your natural nails as well to protect it. So I definitely may have to try that. And I really appreciate that these have the oval rounded brushes because it makes it easier to get around cuticle lines, because it's harder with the square brushes, which most brands do use, but you know, your cuticles for the most part aren't square. So I really love oval brushes. So I'm going to be starting on my thumb, and I just took a little bit of that gel base. I always like to start with a little bit of liquid first because I always get paranoid that I'm going to have too much and flood my cuticles, but I did realize I didn't have enough. But I would rather start with a little bit and then add a little bit more rather than just start with too much and flood my cuticles. I'm just applying as thin of a layer as possible, and I want to be really careful around my cuticle area and sidewalls because I don't want to get any product on my skin. But the brush fans out beautifully and it levels so quickly even though it's thick. So by the time I'm done with my nail, it's already level. So I'm going to go ahead and cure that in my lamp. When you see that flash, that means I've cured it. So this is a 60-second lamp, so I let it cure for 60 seconds, but I figured you didn't want to watch my hand sit in the lamp for 60 seconds. So that's why I kind of cut that out. So now that my thumb is fully cured, I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my nails. I normally do my thumb separately anyway, just because I don't want it to sit sideways in my lamp and have the gel run. But because this is a mini lamp, my whole hand plus my thumb isn't going to fit anyway. So that's, you know, that's another reason why I did my thumb separately. So I'm going ahead, applying a thin, even layer. I'm really loving this brush. It applies so evenly. The brush fans out nicely for a nice smooth application. So even though it's a thicker gel, it just applies like it's not thick, if that makes sense. I don't know, but I'm really enjoying this gel base. I think it's a good consistency. I love that it levels really quickly. And I'm actually kind of wondering, because of the thickness of it, I'm wondering if I could use it to apply full coverage tips. I mean, obviously, I think the one concern would be longevity. Like, would the tips stay for long? I don't know. I don't think I wear tips long enough to, just for longevity, but I am curious just because of the thickness of it and just because the gel is made in a safer way. I can't really speak to the science of it because I wouldn't do it justice. So I just say check out Liz's channel. She's got an Attain YouTube channel as well as the Nail Hub is her YouTube channel as well. Check her out. She just really speaks to all of the science behind it, and it's really fascinating. After I apply my gel base, I'm curing for a full 60 seconds, and now we're going to jump into my color. So I knew I only wanted to try one color at first, so as I was looking through the website, this one screamed at me I had to have this color, and I am so glad I picked it up. Having said that, she did just release a new version of the Attain Shine. It's supposed to be shinier than this version that I have, and it's a no wipe formula. So I did want to try that. And of course, as I was buying that, I was like, you know what, let's pick up some more colors. So I picked up 2 more colors as well. And mind you, this is before I've recorded this video. So this is before I've even tried any of her products that I picked up a new gel top coat and 2 more colors. But no regrets because I am actually really happy with the way this is turning out. But yeah, that's just me. I have a shopping problem. So anyway, I'm making sure that I'm applying a thin layer of gel polish because I want to make sure that it's curing all the way through. And the one thing I noticed is, as you can see here, that it's not fully opaque. So it does have a sheerness to it. I'm going to have to build it up with some layers. I'm assuming it's because if it's too opaque, it won't be able to cure all the way through. At least that's my assumption. But, you know, as much as I appreciate a one coat coverage polish, maybe that's not a good thing. But you can see here, it's still a little patchy, but that's just the first layer. I'm going to build it up with additional layers. So I'm going ahead, go ahead and cure that for 60 seconds. So now I'm going to go in with layer 2 and see if I can get it fully opaque in 2 layers. So the one thing I'll say is the polish is kind of a medium consistency. So it's not as thick as the base gel, but it's not super thin either. So you can see it just applies really smooth and even. It levels as well, just as nicely as the gel base. As I'm applying it, it self-levels itself. And it's just really smooth and nice application. But I think my thumb was probably more of user error because there is a spot on there after my second layer where it's harder to tell in the video. I could see it better like in person, where I felt like there was a little spot, a little patchy area over to the right side of my thumb. I don't know if you can see it, but I don't know. The lighting makes it hard, but there's this little spot that's not fully opaque, just like right there. It's a little bit lighter. I mean, obviously, hopefully no one's getting that close to my nail, but it was bothering me. So after I cured it, I was kind of debating and it was kind of bothering me. So I did decide that I would go in with a third layer and see, like, for my other nails, is it just, it could be a user error, right? It could just be me just because I haven't used this gel before. And spoiler alert, when I do the other nails, I do get full opacity with 2 layers. So it was definitely a me problem just using the gel for the first time. But it could also be because my thumb is a larger area. Whatever the reason, for my other fingers, I do get full opacity with 2 layers. But for my thumb, I did want that third layer to cover up that patch, which the third layer did the trick. I'm still learning how to paint my nails and get cleaner lines, and the consistency of this gel really does help with that because it's a medium consistency. It's not running on me at all. So I'm taking my time as I'm going. It's not running, which is really great for a beginner. And I could probably get closer to my cuticle line, but I didn't want to risk it. And even though it's not perfect, this is probably the best lines that I've actually had so far. So progress. I'm now happy with the coverage of my thumb, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to the rest of my fingers. I'm not going to worry about top coat till I'm done with all my fingers. I went ahead and did my thumb separately though because it's not going to fit in the lamp with my other fingers. But for these 4 fingers, I'm going to do them all at the same time. So I'm not going to worry about curing in between for each of the fingers. I'm going to do all 4 fingers. Hopefully I don't knock them when the polish is wet and mess that up. but I'm going to go ahead, apply the polish to all 4 nails, cure it, and then rinse and repeat. So I'm just applying a thin, even layer of polish to my nail. I removed most of the polish from the brush. I just have like a half of a bead of polish on one side of the brush. And then I start with my brush about the halfway point of my nail, maybe a little bit higher. And then I brush downwards towards my free edge. And then I'll slowly work my way upwards towards my cuticle area. And the reason I don't start my brush at my cuticle area is because when you first take your brush out of the bottle, that's when it has the most amount of liquid in it. So that's when you're more likely to flood. So if I do the halfway point of my nail downward towards my free edge, if I do get flooding, it's not going to hit my skin. But if I start at the cuticle area, it could run into my skin, which I want to avoid. So if I do get any polish on my skin, I want to make sure that I'm cleaning that up before I cure it. So I'll take like a little cleanup brush, maybe some isopropyl alcohol, and clean that up. But of course, the best thing is to just not get gel on your skin at all, because I don't want to cause any skin allergies or sensitivities with the gels. Hopefully you can see just how beautifully this gel polish applies. It was really easy to use. The one thing I'll say is like the color in the first layer, that's kind of the color that I see on the swatch on the side of the bottle. That's the color I see like in the bottle. But the more layers I put in, the darker it gets. And I was really hoping for like this color. But I mean, I know the more layers you have, the more opacity you get. But I just wish it would stay this color, because I like it a little bit lighter to where you can see more of that purple. Because as I build it up with more layers, it becomes like, is it purple because it's so dark? I mean, I love the color, don't get me wrong, but I wish it was this specific color, but I just didn't have the opacity to just pull this off in one layer. It's totally all personal preference though, so if you like this color and you don't mind that little bit of sheerness, you can totally get away with it, because it's not like it's streaky or patchy or anything like that. I just am wearing full coverage tips so I can see that free edge, which I don't like as much. So that's why I wanted to build it up with additional layers. Before I cure, I just want to make sure everything looks good. And here I thought I had some gel on my skin, but it turns out it was just my peel base. So never mind that, just ignore me. So now I'm going to go in with layer 2. It's going to be the same process, so I'm not going to talk through it. And then I'm actually going to do layer 3 off camera, because how many layers do you really need to see? after I finished applying my polish, I decided I wanted a little bit of accent, something to make the nails pop a little bit more. So I have these nail stickers from Spirit Art Designs. I got them a while ago and I've been dying to use them. So these are actually, it's hard to see, but these are actually Leopard Spot stickers. So I've got the holographic purple as well as the glitter rose gold. I decided you probably wouldn't be able to see the holographic purple against this purple that I'm wearing on my nails. So I'm going to be using the glitter rose gold. But before I do that, I want to wipe off that tacky layer of the gel polish because the stickers won't adhere to it. So I just took some isopropyl alcohol and a lint-free wipe and I wiped down the nails. I waited till it dried. So now I'm going to start applying the stickers. So these come unweeded. So it's really hard to see. I know, especially for you on video, but it's hard for me to even see in person under these lights where these are, because you kind of have to pick up where those designs, because they are cut out. It's just a full sheet though. So you have to be able to pick them out. So I'm just very carefully picking out that design and then placing that on my nail. I don't press down the sticker until I'm totally happy with the placement so I can move it around as needed. But once I'm happy with that, I'm going to press down using the silicone end of my tweezers just to make sure that it's laying flat against my nail. So I'm continue on, do this design. So you can sort of see as the light hits it little glimpses of these designs. So there's all different shapes and sizes throughout here. So there's like the first piece that I laid down, which is like that squiggly U-ish shape. And then there's also like just random single spots. So I'm just kind of placing random designs. So on my middle finger, it's just going to be at the free edge area. And then I'll do a full nail off camera of my ring finger. So this did take a little bit of time. And the only reason is just because it was so hard to get these little designs off the sticker sheet to kind of find which design I wanted. So yeah, I had to keep like moving it around in the light so the light could catch it just right. So if you have any tips to make it easier to get designs like these off the sticker sheet and to find them to get them off, please share your tips because this did take me quite a long time. But having said that, it was so worth it because I love these stickers. And I love that she has like all different kinds of colors. So you pick the design you want. So I picked leopard spots. And then she's got like all different colors where you can pick the color of the leopard spots that you want with like any of her stickers. So I chose the holographic purple and this rose gold glitter. I absolutely love them. They're just so fun. And I love the way it pops against the purple. So I've got those stickers on. So now I'm going to go in with top coat. So looking at the consistency of the top coat, it is thinner than the base coat. So because it's thinner than the base coat, I felt like it would create like texture over the stickers. It wouldn't be thick enough to cover the stickers. So I'm going to go ahead and top coat the nails that are just solid, that don't have the stickers on them, and then cure that. And then for the sticker nails, because these are a bit thicker stickers, are like vinyl stickers, they're not like your regular nail art stickers, I guess. I'm going to actually use the base coat to encapsulate them. So you'll see what that process is like, because as I talked about, when I use using the base coat, it is thicker. So it kind of works to encapsulate those stickers. So where I don't have the texture, it makes my nails just like even and smooth. And even though this top coat is thinner, I have really good control over it. It doesn't run on me. So I really feel like these gels are good for beginners or any DIYers. I really appreciate the fact that Liz addresses that there was like a huge increase in DIY gel usage without really knowledge after, COVID and salons shut down. So she's really out there trying to educate, because you can't stop DIYers, but I feel like her getting the education out there is super helpful. So I love that she kind of created this line with like DIYers in mind to create like safer products. going to be using the adhesion similar to how I would use like a builder gel because it's got the same type consistency. It may not be as thick as a builder gel, but it's thick-ish like a builder gel. So I'm starting with my slip layer first. So my slip layer is just a really thin layer of that polish to my entire nail. I'm not going to cure the slip layer. The slip layer just helps when you apply a larger bead to the nail. It helps it move around doing it on that layer of uncured gel polish rather than just doing it straight on your nail. So once I'm kind of happy with that coverage, I'm going to go in with a larger bead of that gel polish, and I'm not going to paint it on my nail. So the brush isn't going to touch my nail. I'm going to sort of float that polish on top of my nail. So the brush is only touching that bead of adhesion, and I'm just moving that around because it's going to be larger. I want it to cover the sticker, make my surface of my nail smooth and even to where you don't see the ledges of where the stickers start and stop. I'm going to cap my free edge also, make sure everything's even. Do I see any ledges in that little area there? I felt like you could still see a little bit of that texture. So I'm going to go ahead and fill that in with the adhesion. And let me tell you, this adhesion was super easy to use. So I'm actually kind of wondering, because I do encapsulate from time to time with builder gel, but builder gel is like in between a soft gel and a hard gel. So it's about a medium gel. So it's a little bit harder to remove. So I'm wondering how easy or hard this adhesion is to remove, because if it's easier to remove than a builder gel, I may have just replaced my builder gel because I love builder gel, but it just takes a little bit longer to remove. But this adhesion was just so easy to use, so easy to apply, that I am actually really loving it. I did flash cure my middle finger just for like 10 seconds, just because I wanted to play it safe. I wasn't sure whether the adhesion would move on me if I moved onto my ring finger. So I would just rather play it safe than sorry, and I flash cured that. So I'm going to finish up my ring finger. I'll give my two fingers a full cure for 60 seconds, and then I'm going to go ahead and top coat them. This version of the Shine Top Coat is not a no wipe, so it does cure with a tacky layer. So if you cure your nails and it's still sticky, that doesn't mean that your gel isn't cured. It just means you need to remove that inhibition layer. I do have the new version of Shine coming to me, and that is a no wipe formula. But for this one, I'm just taking some isopropyl alcohol and a lint-free wipe, and I'm just wiping down my nails really well, and that's going to remove the tacky layer. As always, I'm going to finish off my mani by rehydrating my cuticles with my Scales of a Mermaid Cuticle Balm. This is a classic scent, I Make Poor Decisions, which is a really great fruity red wine type scent. And of course, I do have an affiliate code with Scales of a Mermaid. You can use code GENIE10 to save 10% off your orders and support me. So I'm just going to apply that liberally to my hands to rehydrate them, because I used a lot of isopropyl alcohol to remove the tacky layer. I wanted to dehydrate my nails before I applied my full coverage tips, so they are extra dry, so I want to make sure that I'm rehydrating them. So that pretty much wraps up today's video, and I have to say, they are saying that the new version of the Shine is even shinier than this, but I don't even know how that's possible. It is super shiny, super glossy. First impressions of the Attain Cosmetics brand is I am not disappointed. Everything was so easy to use. It's very beginner friendly. I highly recommend this, and I'm really excited now to get my other two colors so I can use more of it just because I loved the application. It was just so pleasurable to use. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, I'd appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue creating content like this, and also helps YouTube recommend me to others, which helps grow my channel. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I upload content every Monday and Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.